This is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. It's been an interesting time getting to this particular episode. We are late, and we've had technical difficulties. Greg has had to change locations. So we are in rare form today. We're gonna have some fun.
Good effing Lord, dude. I mean, I gotta tell you, I can't even say the F word this soon in the show because you'd be upset with me. But I'm feeling F bomb after F bomb after F bomb come from within my brain.
I know you are. I know that it's welling up within you. I'm asking
the anger sharks are swimming strong today. Oh God, why does technology have to be like such a pain in the balls? I mean, it's supposed to make life easy. I'm sitting there at my house all comfy and shit, you know, hanging out, watching Hawaii 5-0, just chilling, chillaxing, eating, hook my computer up, and then it's like, oh no, I don't feel like working for you, brah, and it just doesn't start working for me. It's what do I say to that?
That's right. Well, guys, thanks for being patient. I know there were some people that were wondering where in the world we were. Haley, thank you for that comment. We appreciate it, and we're glad that you guys are on schedule and know when we are supposed to be broadcasting, because sometimes the computers do not cooperate, and we don't know when we're going to broadcast. So let's what do you think we take a question? Let's get this thing kicked off right.
Yes. Let's bring epic value, Matthew, because I'm going to call you by your full name the entire show just to irritate you, Matthew.
Please don't.
Matthew, let's continue this, Johnson. All right, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Right,
how about we talk about dead people?
Huh?
How about we talk about dead people?
I thought that's what you said. I'm like, what? Okay. Right. You morbid individual.
Let's see. So Stephanie Winter asks, and this is from the Lead Gen Scripts and Objections group. So she says, following up with old leads, a lady answers and tells me John has passed away. How do you tactfully ask if they're going to need real estate assistance? So, Greg, how would you handle that? Let's put it into circle prospecting scenario. So you call up and ring, you do your thing, and all you're doing is intending to deliver the good news of someone that has sold their home, only to be delivered the exceptionally bad news that the person you intended to speak to is no longer with us.
Oh, I'm so sorry. John kicked the bucket. That must have been epically horrible on you. I feel emotionally tied to you at this moment. Is there something I can do? Maybe help you sell your house for an exorbitantly high value so I can get a huge commission? Would that help ease your pain, ma'am?
I would definitely leave with
that. Okay, so what I really do is what I do. Matthew Johnson, dude. So what I would do is I actually go, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that, that John passed. Is there an opportunity? Would it be helpful for us to put together an evaluation of the property for the estate? Would that be something of help, that could be helpful for you? I go at it like everything else that I do. I go after it with a mindset of helping and serving and bringing value to another human being. But you can't go in there all up like commission breath, like, oh, there's someone died in here. Smells like a commission. Oh, it smells like a commission. Embalming fluid, commission. Embalming fluid just brings back the smells of a commission check coming my way.
Wow. Okay.
No, but seriously, just go in there. We'll try to help and serve someone else, and that's what I would want to do. And that's how I bring a lot of value. And a lot of people say also like, hey, we're gonna die in the house, or I'm gonna go feet first, or they're gonna bury me in the backyard. And my immediate gesture of sympathy is, oh my God, I hope that's not gonna be anytime soon. Like make a joke out of it.
Right. That's good. I like it.
If you have a good enough rapport with them, and you guys seriously, this is you have to walk the wire on this one. But if you pull it off, it's awesome. It's like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. And it's this. So let's say I'm getting to know Matt pretty well, and he's old and gray and slow moving and all that shit. And you're like, well, I'm gonna die here. And you again, if you know him well enough, you go, so would you happen to know when that might be? Because I'll schedule an appointment. I've been able to pull that off a couple of times, but I've had to really walk the wire on that.
Okay.
because that would have been something horrible. They would have been like, "Excuse me, are you grave robbing from above?
Oh man,
this is not nice." No,
that's
but
right.
it's a lot of fun. That's the way I handle it. I use a couple of different systems, and I always forget their names. Legitimately forget their names every time I talk.
It's Rebo Gateway, isn't it?
Yes. Why is it so hard for me to remember? I don't know.
I don't know, because you're the one that told me about it, because you use it. I don't want to know why I remember and you don't. But first of all, I just want to thank everybody that's watching here live on YouTube. Excuse me, on Facebook. We got Caitlin and Deb and Jamie and Andrew and Andrew, both of you guys. First of all, so Andrew Olson says, my hands are sore from basically copy pasting a video to each of my friends on Facebook, so it has that personal touch. Is there a program to make my life easier?
Yes.
The answer to that is
it's called Facebook Messenger.
not if we understand what's going on. Yes, that's the thing is, once you get the message templated out, then yes, you can put it into a text document and you can just copy it and just go right down the line from desktop and just copy send. But that's
wait a minute, but why?
That will get you flagged by Facebook. So you want to like sprinkle in some personal stuff. So do like a personal introduction, then paste the bulk of it, then a personal like little, ending message, and then so you've got 3 separate little messages that will throw Facebook off from like catching it as like a stock message and shutting it down. So we ran into that, when we were promoting the launch of the team building podcast this summer. Jeff Cohn has had his assistant go through using Facebook Messenger and just message a bunch of people about the podcast, and he got shut down because the assistant was not breaking the message up and customizing parts of it. So that's the key there. But yes, you can.
Assistant. Another way you can do it is just do a Facebook message video and do it in one-off 15-second little blasts and just do it that way instead of having to send it through email. Would be another way that I would do it. Alex, I want to answer your question. I like Talent a lot. They are very client-minded. They have been blown up on requests, so they're not taking any more guests or clients until February 10th or something like that. But anyways, I do like them a lot. I'll put a link in here for you guys to go contact them through this podcast. But yeah, they are definitely honoring their commitment to me, which I find incredible when it comes to customer service, because in today's day and age, nobody has customer service. Which brings me to a good point, Matt. Do you know what the what someone considers a good customer service experience?
No, well, I don't even know what you mean by the question, so I'm just going to let you answer it.
You don't overthink it there, big guy. So the idea of good customer service is one level above crap. And so I'm not saying they're crap. I'm just saying that they care about their clients. So let me get that link from Anita over at Talent, and I'll drop it in right now for you guys. Sorry. We got a lot of different cool questions on my side as well. Susan, what's with the hat? Well, it's because I'm repping the Bay, player. Damn.
Is that the only reason, Greg?
Yeah, well, it's because I also have this going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to see that.
And that answers Susan's other question. Did you just roll out of bed? Need to shave, sweatshirt? Yeah. Well, that's the idea.
Roll out of bed.
It's a holiday.
I never got out of bed.
I'm the only one that's crazy enough to work every day this weekend.
Yeah, right, I never even got out of bed, so that wasn't even an issue about even having to get out of bed.
That's right. All right. So let's take a question here. Maureen's Pierre says, what is a good affordable program for email drip campaigns for leads that are being nurtured? Okay. So a lot of your lead generation programs will have an email drip functionality built into it, like, Boomtown, Real Geeks, Zerple, all this stuff. But if you need a place where you can just dump in one email or a few emails at a time to put them on an automated drip sequence, go check out iContact. That's the one. I just about lost it. It was at the vast outer reaches of my brain. I think it was sitting in the little liquid outside of my brain, between my brain and my skull. So I managed to suck it back in. But anyway, so it's iContact. And so when I was at Viral, that's what we used to use to set up people's automated sequences for people like new buyers, new seller clients, and you could just literally pretty quickly and easily build a sequence of emails that you wanted to go out to anybody, and then you would just throw their email into a little form, name and email, and drop it in there, and then they would just start getting that sequence. So that's a pretty good system for that.
Hey, Matt. Lisa thinks that I'm still very hot, even though I have the rocking the hat with the nasty hair and the sweatshirt.
Don't encourage him.
Thank you, Lisa.
Don't encourage that behavior. We need to get him rolling out of bed. I need to like pay like an assistant or something. Like you need to pay your interior designer to get over there every day and insist that you get out of bed and do your hair.
No, that's just too much effort, dude.
Yeah.
I literally just sat in my bed and just watched Hawaii Five-0, just like episode after episode after episode today. It was awesome, fucking awesome.
All right. Well, let's hope you're on your game now, Greg, because I'm going to throw you a pretty interesting question here. Okay.
Oh, bring it, Twinkle Toes. I'll see what you got.
All right. So Taylor Ramos says, what is your selling point to a FSBO if you being involved won't actually net them more money than what they're already listing it for?
Well, then move the fuck on. I mean, if you can't bring any value and you're just going to cost them more money, seriously, you're not bringing any value to them. You're just going to be a detriment to them. So keep moving. There's 7 billion other people. Go talk to somebody else. Seriously. I mean, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I mean, if you are not a value add, you are a depreciation. A depreciation. Nobody likes a depreciation, you know, especially when it comes to
finance. I do disagree with you on this point. But I know, and I'm a big fan of just moving on to the next one. But I think in this case, there is a case to be made because one of the big value propositions of an agent is the absorption of pain and hassle. You know what I'm saying?
No, because if you can't bring any value,
of course it is. That is one of the main value propositions of an agent. So even if you can't save them money by you listing the house and selling it for what it's really worth versus what they think they can sell it for, that's number one. That's the number one point you can make. But let's say on paper, the number, it still costs them something to list with you. Great. Here's all the hassle that I save you from. Let's talk about the 150 things that go into marketing your home. Let's talk about the you know, what is it, 2 to 3% of your home price that's in the swing just during the negotiation phase from contract to close. Let's talk about all the hassle that you absorb on their behalf by you dealing with the buyer and the buyer's agent and the mortgage company and making sure they're pre-qualified and making sure people aren't stomping through their house that aren't pre-qualified to actually buy their house. So there's a case to be made for that. So even if you do like the seller net sheet and the numbers don't work, you still have a value proposition to them.
Not really, because you have to decide what's more important to them. Is it time or is it money? What's the biggest, you know, leverage point for them? So a lot of times, if it's just time and they can take a hit on the cash, then yes, you're 100% right. But if they aren't in a position to take a hit on the cash, then no, you are taking from them. So it's a you know,
that's
deal by deal
versus
priority.
their mind of what they believe they can sell it for.
Well, it's proven fact that you can get about another $40,000 using a real estate agent versus trying to sell it yourself. Those are national stats. You know, the thing is 215 to 240, 215,000, 240,000, or my math is like
$25,000 difference. It's like a 20. I mean, I've heard all kinds of estimates, but yeah.
But I mean, it really comes down to what their priority is.
Most high-end homes, most high-end homes are listed with agents partly for the convenience factor, and so that skews the numbers. But yes, you could use, you can pull out that number. I mean, the bottom line, one of the most effective things I ever heard to combat that is that 80% of all sales is done through the MLS. So if you don't list your home on the MLS, you're automatically cutting yourself off from 80% of the market.
Stevie Hahn, take out your friendship card, tear it up. Friendship over. Agreeing with Matt and posting it publicly, I am personally insulted.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I thought we had a connection.
Now Susan says, I agree. A listing isn't worth it if it's just going to be stress. I agree. But part of your job as an agent, part of your value proposition is to absorb the stress and hassle on behalf of the seller. Now you, the agent, set up systems so that it's not super stressful on you. That doesn't mean you have to take it all on yourself. That just means that's your value proposition in your marketing and your sales to a seller client is, look, I am your fiduciary agent. I am the one that's watching over to make sure that you are protected. In your business, you set up systems to make it easier to deal with the stress, but that is your job as an agent.
Moving forward, we're never going to agree on this.
All right. So Mark Dinges, this is a kind of a success story. He says, I just wanted to share with you fellow rock stars that as a relatively new agent, I was able to go out today and secure 3 listing appointments through door knocking and FSBO hunting. If you are new, I have now found out that the door knocking method is awesome. Congratulations, Mark.
That is awesome news, man. It's a lot of fun when you go out there and you talk to folks. You know, doing these things that a lot of people say are dead and gone are actually not dead and gone. It's actually, I think it's going to be like a hidden treasure trove in the future because everybody's looking for the easy button. They're looking for something that they can get done immediately without ever having to leave their desk. But if you get out there and you go human to human, face to face, belly to belly, eye to eye, people have to build that bond with you. So I go knuckles to you, man. That is just absolutely fucking awesome. You just rock started out of the park. Keep it coming, dude. That's good stuff. What are you laughing
That's right. And big pound and big shout out to Josh Bryan, who says, "Ha, Matt's always right." So I just want to thank Josh publicly for that. We appreciate that.
No, and you do not get to hang out with me when you come to San Francisco next month. That's it. Again, another friendship card totaled in the wind. It's supposed to be a holiday, and it just seems to be a massacre of friends.
Oh, my God. This is awesome. All right. So Brent Graves says, what do you use to track your deals? As in phone calls, contacts, appointments, closed, buyer, seller. Are you using Excel or are you using some sort of contact management system? So, Greg, kind of fill me in on what you guys use internally to track your deals.
Flashcards.
Yeah. All right.
No.
Nice talking to you, Greg. Moving on to the next question.
8x5. You know.
Okay.
We use red for me, green for Terry, red for Black, yellow for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
I said, I know you've got your big whiteboard behind you where you track like your listings and things like that. But what? Anything else besides that?
Actually, dude, old school. Seriously, like files. I mean, it's no rocket science. Just name a file, put it over here.
So those are your active clients, right?
Those are active clients. If we want to talk about tracking, a lot of the times what we do is we go and we track it through the iron, brain of Eileen, and we source it. I'll call into her and be like, Eileen, the people that had the white dog with the like the young girl that drove the Jeep. Yeah, those people like, oh, you mean the Phillips? Oh yeah, we got them from a yard sign call. I'm like, how do you do that? Seriously. No, but we put it into top producer. We're actually transferring everything over to FirePoint, which we will be getting up and running here very soon. So we will be having a much easier way of tracking where things are coming from because Beverly is helping us turn our database from a disaster into something that's useful. So
yes, good.
We are using systems.
Should have been done 3 years ago when you and I met.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah. All right. Susan says I have to get a permit from my town to door knock. Yeah. And we have a do not knock list as well. I'm going to the town hall tomorrow to find out the details. Susan, tell us where you're at because we're curious. But just put that down.
No, that actually happens quite a bit. So we're in Danville right now. So you can door knock in unincorporated Contra Costa County without a problem. So Alamo, Danville, Walnut Creek, but in parts of like I think part of San Ramon, I think Dublin may have an ordinance against it. And there's a couple of cities we do have to go get a permit and get like a clip-on little badgy thing and go to door to door with that. So guys, if you are door knocking, please make sure if you do or do not need to get a permit to do it, because I got rolled up on. I've told you this story, Matt. When I was door knocking in Alamo, it was like a nice summer day. There was me and another guy.
Were you dressed like you are now?
No, Matt, I was not.
Okay.
I was dressed respectfully. Okay. White shirt, tie, slacks, dress shoes. Oh, wow. I know. And seriously, dude, I had 5-0 roll up on me hard. Oh, yeah, we did. We totally looked like that. But we got rolled up on by the cops, and thank goodness I had my wallet with me, which is no joke. But I had my California state license, right there, and I was able to, whip it out and be like, hey, yeah, guys, I'm a licensed real estate agent. Here's my license. What's going on? They're like, oh, we got a report of some shady individuals door knock or around the neighborhood. I'm like, fuck you. Yeah. I know you have a gun, but you're being a dick. Just check on it. But yeah, it is something weird at times.
And Susan says she's in Brick, New Jersey, so which sort of makes sense because I mean, right next to California and maybe Massachusetts, New Jersey is one of the most heavily regulated states in our fair union, and I'll leave it at that.
Nice.
So Josh Gossard says I could use some help with this objection. The seller wants a flat fee agent. He says, why should I have to pay more to sell his $300,000 house than the guy selling his $150,000 house when the process is the same? So that's an interesting way to phrase that objection. So, Greg, how would you respond to that?
I ran into a situation like that here last month. There was a gal that wanted to negotiate everything up front, and she wanted me to do it for 4%. And I said, that's not how we do it. The way our team operates is that we do it for 5 or 6%, depending on the situation and position. Traditionally in our area, it's 5%. And I will not do it for 4%.
Okay.
And so if they're going to have that type of mindset, then they're going to get that quality of an agent that's willing to work for that little amount of money. Guys, you're worth more. Okay, seriously, you're worth more than that. Unless you're a discount broker, then you need to stop doing that and start, charging like the rest of us do, make a little bit more money. But the process is, yes, it is more time consuming. There is more risk involved in a higher price point in a property. So there's more, you're bringing more exposure for you as an agent. So you need to be compensated for that exposure, and you have to understand that. It's the same process. That's fine, but if you can explain away why it's worth it, and the pitfalls and the ramifications if something does go wrong. Let's say they didn't disclose something. Let's say they knew they had mold. They didn't disclose it for whatever. I'm hypothetically setting this up here. Then the ramifications of blowback on them is going to be much greater. So you're going to be taking on more liability. So you need to be compensated on it. If they can't see that, keep moving. I know that I say that a lot, and there are some agents that are listening to this either now or in the future. They go, well, Greg, I need a deal now. I understand that, but you're worth more. If you absolutely have to take the deal, clear it with your manager and your broker and see if they'll allow you to do it, because some managers and brokers won't allow you to take less than a certain amount of money. But I mean, if you have to do it, then do it. But don't lower yourself to those standards. You're worth more. And people are going to try to push you around because they think that they can. Push back, stand up for yourself, and let your light shine.
All right. So that is the sales answer to that question. Can I give more of a marketing kind of oriented answer to that question?
Yeah, sure. What up, Houston?
All right. So there is a way that you can eliminate that objection right off the bat, or at least have a much better way to handle it if and when it does come up. And that is to have a floor on your commission level and have a specific commission package for, let's say, homes that are below your average price point, right? So let's say you're selling homes in Omaha, Nebraska, the average price point is 180K. So you're going to have some people call you, or you're going to get some opportunity. I know, Greg, that's not even worth it, you rolling out of the bed and farting in the morning. Really, that's the reality that most people live in. But anyway, so let's say you're in a normal market, the average price point is 200 grand. And somebody calls you up and they want you to list their $150,000 home. So when you get to the listing appointment, if you have in your materials, you have a package where if it drops below X listing price, like if it's $50,000 below the average, if it's anything below average, then your minimum commission percentage is 6%, right?
Oh, so your commission goes up as the price goes down. Gotcha.
Exactly. Yep. So that way you have a legitimate answer. You can say, look, somebody else may charge you the same amount, they may charge you less, or they may charge even a flat fee. But I know what my time is worth. And so in fact, as if there's a lower price, low average listing price, I actually have a certain package for that, and the commission is X%. I'm already offering to do it for you at whatever, 5.5 or whatever, to compensate for it being an average price listing, because I know the work that goes into the marketing of the property. And I know that with a below average sale price listing, there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the photography and the videography to get that home up to snuff so it shows well online. And so that it needs to be compensated for that. And I think that will destroy, if you have a specific commission package for below average market listings, that will destroy that objection, because it completely removes their leverage, which is that, well, if my home was less, you'd be taking it for the same percentage and actually making less money. Like, no, I wouldn't. Here's my package for that.
Yeah, so we've never run into that here, honestly.
No, it's a good question, and it would take somebody smart to ask that question, and so you better have a smart response, because if you just try to do a standard objection handler with that, you just lost.
Yes, Melissa, Matt is a musician. He tries to play his instruments every once in a while. Basically looks like a monkey banging on fruits. But
yeah, Manny DeSilvia says mobile homes 10% SoCA. Yeah, no kidding.
10%,
and you can do 10%. Well, remember we've had Mike LaFido on the show before. He was summer of last year. He has an 8 per his commission packages go up to 8%, and he even has like a 10%. I've heard of somebody has a 10% package.
Wow.
So you're not the only ones, but yeah, I mean, if you have that kind of preset in your marketing materials where it's below a certain list price and you have a commission structure for that will destroy that.
All right, that's a fantastic thing. I mean, let's flip that on its head really quickly. If you want to protect your commission as the potential listing agent, we've talked about the script several times, and Matt, actually, our script that we've launched out there before, it's saying, look, hey, I'm glad you asked about the commission split. Here, my commission for everything that I do is either 2.5% or 3%, whatever your split's going to be, right? I'll just say it's 3%. Mm-hmm. Now we have to decide what we want to pay the buyer's agent. Typically, a little bit higher gets more showings. And I was speaking with a gentleman last week, and he said that works so well for him. He's never taken a listing under 6% ever since he started using that script. He also gave it to another real estate agent in his office, and then that lady also started getting more and more 6% listings off of that. So if you want to protect your commission, guys, there's another opportunity to do it there. Just say, look, minus 3 or 2.5, whatever else.
It's a negotiating tactic where you essentially take your part of it completely off the table. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's on the table for negotiation is what you're paying out to the buyer's agent. And then it becomes a matter of, how many showings do I want? Or do I want to risk not getting as many showings in order to shave some money off the commission? So, which
this always made me laugh about that split. I mean about that script is the fact that in today's day and age, information is everywhere. It's free. It's all around us, right?
Right.
So that script, I think, was built back when the MLS was protected and the information was there. But if a buyer is on their phone looking at a property at 2:00 in the morning on Zillow or Trulia or Redfin or anything else, the real estate agent, it doesn't really fucking matter what they're getting paid. The buyer still sees the house. And if they want to go see the house, they're either going to use that listing agent or they're going to be using the buyer's agent. I think it's a great tactic for the listing agent to protect their commission, because honestly, dude, it wouldn't matter to me if my buyer wanted to go see a house.
If they bring a house, they're
still going to go see the damn house.
Companies market their drugs to the public.
Right, but that's all about that's just about protecting your commission and then letting anything else come on in. But
right.
Interesting kind of think about, huh?
Okay. Let's see. So Susan says, but what about if you sell it yourself? Do they expect you to only take your half?
Okay, so that's
you locate a buyer, which is the 10% of the time, 5% of the time.
We are given the permission by our brokerage, and this is and people that are going to hear this, that listen to this shit in our office are going to probably shoot me, but whatever. We're able to do this. We say, if the McDaniel Callahan team, our team, brings in the buyer, then we will do it for 4%. Otherwise, if any other real estate agent anywhere in the world from any other company, even our company, brings another buyer, it's 5%. So I love bringing in my own buyer. Dude, I almost double my money. I go from 2.5% to 4%. I go more liability. Yeah, that's okay. But the sellers love it because they shave a point off of their commissions and everybody wins.
All right, so is that part of your standard commission structure, or is that if they object, if they're smart enough to bring it up?
If they're intelligent enough to bring it up, then I will. Okay. I will bring it up. I'm not going to cut my own throat, dude. Shit.
Yeah, I was going to say that's why I was curious if it was something you mentioned up front or was only an objection handler.
Only objection handler, and I will read the person and I'll read their situation. If I know that they're going to come roll out of this thing with like $800,000 to $1 million, fuck you. Dude, pay for what you're going to get. That's the end of the story. But if they're super tight on cash and they're just trying to eke out of this and move on to the next place in life, like there's a lady that called me back from a year ago. I told you about this. A year ago, she called me. I called her on a cold call. She kept my information. She's $30,000 negative on the property right now in value. And she said the house is put together with Scotch tape. And I asked her, hey, do you want to take the haircut on the commission or do you want to wait a little bit? And I said, I'll do it for 4%, and we'll do a pocket listing and we'll help you save the money. And so that situation, I was up front willing to take a little bit of a haircut, because not only am I going to be doing a goodwill for her and I'll get a commission off of it, that's not my total thing. But if something happens, she or her husband gets sick, because they have 5 rug rats. Damn.
Good Lord.
That makes my feet itch and my hands turn sweaty. I think I already had horror dreams. They should make a horror movie out of that. Like, times 5.
That's also known as Matt's personal hell.
And you and I swear to God, they should make a movie of us babysitting 5 kids. The 2 of us are like this bug-eyed, like,
oh God.
Just live streaming that shit.
A movie of us babysitting.
Dude, they can make it a betting thing in Vegas.
I mean, it's a buddy cop world-ending disaster comedy. That's all. Can we do the movie poster where we're standing back to back with our arms crossed?
With like
surrounded by kids?
With like baby shit stuck to us everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So let's do this one. This is a good one. Rick Robinson says, if you could only afford to invest in one lead gen purchase program, which one would you choose?
Talent prospecting. That's why, because it's not lead gen, it's appointment setting. It really depends on your budget as well. They owe me X amount of appointments every single week, and if they don't get them, they don't just fall by the wayside. They make sure they get there. Like I will get every one of my appointments set for me. So if I was to spend money on my future investment, I would hire lead gen. I'd hire lead gen.
Yeah, I get it.
I'd hire talent.
But what's the quality? Like when you say they're setting appointments for you, like what are the homeowners when you're going in there for the appointments? What is their expectation of what's going to happen?
That I'm there to take a look at the value of their home because they're going to sell it. And it's not like, he kind of wanted to kind of get a value. No. All that stuff is already done up front. Like on Saturday, I was at an appointment, and he's like, yeah, dude, don't worry about it, man. We're just going to get some stuff done, but you are definitely going to be our guy. We were really impressed when you came through our home. I think it was October, November when I went through the house the first time. And they were a lead from like 6 months before that when they came onto one of our online lead sites. But Philip does such a good job of setting us up and understanding the position that seller is in, so that he can give me the most information, so I can then give the most value to the client. Because I have no problem with them selling. Let's say they wanted to sell in May, right? Okay, no problem. But at least I know that, so when I go in and talk to them, I can set the proper expectations up, so I can deliver value to them instead of trying to close them for a sale when they weren't ready for it. So the quality is very, very good. If they want to do something, dude, Phil will close them. So, and his team will close them or anything else. That's the quality. I
would have expected you to say Mojo and Circle Prospecting, because that's the engine of everything that you do, which I get that now Phil is doing calls for you as well, and they're calling through leads and stuff like that. So I get why you said that, but yeah, I was taken back that you went with something other than Circle Prospecting, because that's what you do. That's what
but that's what Phil is doing for me. It's not doing it. It's just having someone else do it. They asked about lead gen, dude. Your time is better spent actually in the living rooms of these people's houses, not on the phone trying to get into the living rooms of these people's houses, right? Wouldn't you agree with me on that one, at least for once?
I would agree with you on that. I would say this, that the average person watching this broadcast right now is probably not at that point. And if you're not at that point, I would recommend you start with something like Real Geeks.
Yeah, Real Geeks is really good. They are really good.
$500 startup fee, $150 a month for the website, and then you can throw $300 to $500 into AdWords and have them manage it for you and start generating leads to your Real Geeks website, and then just make the calls. As long as you do that, you'll start getting buyer deals. And so if you're just getting started, if you're 2 years into the business, whatever the case is, if you don't have more buyers than you know what to do with, to the point where you have to start handing them off, that's where I would start. And then move on up to converting as many of those buyers as you can into listings. And then once you have more listings than you can handle, then you start farming the buyers out to somebody as a buyer's agent, start focusing on listings, start doing more circle prospecting, mix and expireds and stuff like that. But that's where I would start. Hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, I mean, the buyers are the lowest hanging fruit, and on 99.9% of the times, it's the same exact amount of money that you're getting paid as a listing agent, but the listing agent has more liability and more cost going into the sale. Everybody has this grand, illusion that listings are the best thing on planet Earth, when in reality, if you're just starting out, listing is the worst fucking thing you could possibly do, because it's going to cost you money, and if you don't know what you're doing, people are going to ask you a billion questions because it's their home. A buyer doesn't care, man. As long as you don't kick them in the shins and call her mama fat, you're going to be able to work with them. You could be half retarded and still work with a buyer. Yeah. And you can pull it up. I've seen it happen with my own two eyes.
That's what I'm saying. You as the listing agent, I'm sure, have seen that happen.
Oh, there's some morons. Norm, what up, dude? Goodness. How are you, man? Welcome. Andrew, how do you end the call when you set the appointment, and what are the questions you ask for pre-qualifying the appointment? Good question. So what I do when I'm ending the call with them, I'm confirming, when we're meeting, the time, the day and the time that we're going to be meeting. If they have any questions that I can answer for them now, I tell them what I'm going to be bringing with me, and then I confirm with them the day before, and then the morning of, that we can still get together and meet. I'm not trying to pre-qualify the appointment now, but I want to get in front of them. I want to see the house. I want to watch their body language, see their eyes. I want to see if they're clean or messy, if the house is in disrepair or if a neatnik lives there. I want to see the neighborhood. I want to watch them. I like studying body language. I like studying hand gestures. I like studying just all of that. And I can get a feel off the person. Then I can go in and I can ask the questions. But if you want to ask some questions, you can ask some simple ones like, well, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, Philip's actually calling me right now. What up, Phil dog? You're going to say, Matt, Julie, you're 3 obese little wood denting babies, can I understand? Can you help me understand, why you guys are thinking about making a move? When would you guys like, even in a perfect world, when would you like to be in your new home, or when would you like to have this home sold by? Is there any other homes that you've liked that you've seen? Are you going to be moving in the area or out of the area? What was your last experience like with a real estate agent? How would you like to have us communicate with you? Would you be the best contact, or would your wife be the best contact? If so, would it be email, or would it be phone call? Would it be social messenger? Would it be Facebook? How would you like me to communicate? When would you like me to communicate with you? Every single second of the day, as things happen at the end of the day, you don't give a shit to sell the damn house. How do you want me to do that? So, go back and re-listen to this, and you write those questions down. Mike, what up, Playboy? And you can ask and answer those questions. They're all old Mike Ferry questions. I'm not making this stuff up.
And that script is out there for free. So if you go to Mike Ferry, go to the script section. His pre-qualification script, I believe, is there and freely available. Has been for a long time. It's good. It's very
Rhonda,
good.
What is up? How are you? Welcome.
All right. What do you say we talk about some power questions real quick and give some people some really thought-provoking stuff, and then we'll answer a few more questions before we wrap up. So I was hanging out with Frank from Viral Marketing yesterday. We ended up hanging out for like 6 freaking hours. I didn't get out of the coffee shop until 9 o'clock last night.
Oh my God!
So we were going through a lot of stuff. But what's up?
How wired were you?
Well, I didn't drink coffee the whole time. I had my iced coffee at like 3 o'clock, and then it was all downhill from there. I did not keep it stocked the whole time, so I wasn't too wired. But he brought up some really good stuff. So I want to just share. These are so he brought up some good questions that are kind of from the copywriting world. So in other words, if you were to try to sit down and write a letter that persuaded somebody to work with you, these are kind of the questions that you would ask yourself in the course of writing out that letter. But it's also just good thought-provoking stuff for anyone to think about. Because it helps you understand what the person that you're trying to sell to is thinking and getting into their head, right? So there's an old saying in like copywriting, which is that you always want to enter the conversation that's already taking place in the mind of your customer, and that's where you want to start. And so there's a couple questions here I'll just throw out to you guys. So what keeps your ideal customer up at 3 a.m. in the morning?
The lack of money, and they need to sell their house.
It could be that. It could be, let's say you're working with people that have already bought a home and they have a couple of kids. What keeps them up at 3 a.m. might be selling their house by a certain date, because what they really want is to get into their next house and have the time and space to get their kids into the next school district, into a new school, before August.
That's actually interesting. Like that. I have a client of mine, Joshua Smith, who is referred by Jonathan Smith, my very first client 18 years ago. That's exactly why they're making a move, is they want to get into a better school district for their kids, and they want to do it before the school year happens. And then also Eileen, our steel trap, our team manager, she just found out, congratulations to her and her husband, Tim, they're having twins. It's a buy one, get one free, and we're not going for twins. And so she's
her baby from
definitely stressed.
It's the BOGO sale.
No, so you can definitely tell that like those two different situations are definitely stressing the folks that are in those situations out a little bit. So you have to be, remember, have those antennas, kind of figure out where everyone's going and why they're trying to get there. Then you can be cognitive of the best and fastest solution for them. So good question.
Yeah, and don't assume, ask.
No,
that's why the qualifying, pre-qualifying, like Andrew was talking about, and then really digging in on the listing appointment. It's so important. And Greg, you talk a lot about 3 deep.
I was just going to say that.
Go 3 deep on anything. Go 17 deep on their motivation, because you got to really understand what really motivates them to sell the home, or buy the home, whatever the case is. And the more you understand that, the better. So the next question is, what happens to your customer if this pain or problem goes unsolved? And this is a good thing to know for leverage and motivation later in the process. So Greg, if you're working with a buyer And I mean, how much harder is it to work with a buyer who literally has nothing bad happen if they don't buy within the next 2 months?
No, it's horrible. You're gonna spin your wheels because they're gonna be uber picky.
Yeah.
Because they watch HGTV and they know exactly the curtains they want and exactly the color tone of blue they want on the wall and just the perfect daffodil in the front. Fuck, that sucks. You'll never get them sold because there's nothing driving them. You know what? Wait, put them on a drip. Touch base with them every once in a while. But if they don't have to do anything for any real reason, if they're just looky-loos, dude, my first client was like, my first buyer was like that. Dude, Darlene, she took 2 years to buy a house.
Sorry, I just threw up a little in my mouth.
Yeah, it's okay. I shot myself in the head. We both took violent actions. But it was horrible. And I was so green, I didn't know any different. So, I mean, I didn't know what I didn't know. Yeah, anyways. Hey, so here's something. I don't know how we can get this to Matt. Can we put this on our site somehow as a PDF?
No.
I want to put them as a why not? You just don't want to actually help with people? I get it.
I just don't want to do it. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Here, if you guys want to, you can email me, mcdaniel.44@gmail.com, and I will send this to you. Matt obviously won't. It's a 4-page buyer questionnaire that at the end of it.
Who's it from? Is it Mike Ferry stuff again?
It's just a generic one. There's no association with anybody. Okay. On this thing, but it's a 4-page questionnaire. I will scan it and send. If anyone emails me, mcdaniel.44@gmail.com, I will send that out to you guys. But please make sure that you put in the title buyer questionnaire sheet, please, so that I know what to send to you guys.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for making me do all the extra work, Matt.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so so here's another really good question. What customer success stories can you share? And that is one thing that, unless you've been in the business for a while and you have kind of a team, it's something that gets overlooked a lot, just the idea of gathering success stories. And it's extremely powerful. And if you like going through Expired Mastery with Aaron has kind of pointed this out. So he has like his evidences of success that he sends out to all of his expired listing appointments before he goes. It's in with his 150-point marketing plan. And it is, what they are is like sheets that shows like the background of the house and says, sold in X number of days or sold at X percentage of listing price, whatever the big win is. But it's just like sheet after sheet after sheet of those. So literally they're going through this PDF and it's just like click, 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 click. And it's nothing but just success, 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 success. Obviously, you're not going to get there right away, but the earlier you start on collecting those success stories, the better. You can write them up yourself. You can create a little sheet. You can do it in Word. You can do it in PowerPoint, whatever the case is, but you can create those little things. If you get into the Expired Mastery program, we actually have the templates and a tutorial video that you can give to somebody that you hire on Fiverr to do it for you, so you don't have to do any of this yourself. But anyway, the point is that just figure out a way to like document your success and tell the story of what you did for that client and how you helped them. Like that's something I need to get better at. I just wrote up a case study on my website about what I've done for, with Jeff Cohn and the stuff that we're doing in the workshops and how much, how many people we put through the workshops and stuff like that. And just breaking down like exactly what we did together on the marketing that led to the results that he wanted. That's something that I can give to prospective clients when they want to get an idea of what I do. I say, hey, go check this out. I can actually send them the link to the case study that I think fits more closely with what they're looking for, that actually shows them how I got somebody else just like them, the results that they're looking to get. It makes a huge impact. I mean, I've noticed it in my business. Aaron's noticed it in his. And so that's a really good question. What customer success stories can you share? If you have a hard time coming up with that, obviously start documenting what's going on now, but if you're working with like a mentor agent or if you're a part of a team, you can kind of pull on their success stories. Greg, you can pull on the success stories of your dad and Chris. If let's say you were new to the business or new to the team, you would have had success stories to share from, quote, the team, which was, your dad and Chris. So you had kind of a leg up in that way. But whatever people have to do to kind of to get that, take advantage of it and figure out how to tell the success stories of the customers that you're working with. So those are some of the questions.
So another thing that I know you don't like, but I don't really care because it's something is valuable. You guys can also use the successes of your brokerage.
If you're, I hate that. I know, but I know what you mean.
Hold on. But it is a valid thing to make a comment on, because if you're brand new and you don't have a team, you have nothing else, you join a brokerage for a specific reason, you can use the stories of the brokerage. Once you start listening and hearing the stories around you, you can start saying like, oh, I heard a story about this, or I remember a story about that, or this one day I heard, this story, it pops into my mind. Now they don't have to be yours, but you can say, if they ask you, oh, was that your buyer or seller? You say, no, it wasn't, but I heard the story from this other broker here in the area. It gives some validity to you because you have some war stories. It doesn't have to be yours, but you appear to have the effect that you've been in the business for a long period of time. Never lie, never be deceitful, but always be transparent and leverage what you have around you.
And we've said it a lot before. Like if you are legitimately like let's say under a year in the business, it is best. I think it's best for you, and it's best for your client to go partner up with somebody that is more experienced on the deal, because there legitimately is things that you don't know about the business, and it's very hard for you to be a good advocate for your client when you don't know what you don't know. So even if you're a good salesperson, even if you can get the deal, it's still worthwhile to partner somebody that's older and more experienced on the actual contract to close part, even if you have to give them part of the commission or a flat fee that's paid out of the commission or something like that. Make it worth their time, obviously, for them to help you, but find someone to help you. I mean, that was one of the big mistakes that I made. If I had to go back and do it over again, I would have gone out and partnered up with an older, more experienced agent to help with the contract to close part, especially.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
But yeah, definitely the contract to close.
Yeah, and you can also, if you're out. And guys, I'm working on a way to get. I'm going to scan this and try to upload this into the comments below. If not, I will put my email address in there. Don't worry about it. Somehow I'll get this document to you guys without a doubt.
All right, one more question. Thought-provoking question number 4. What happens right after they take you up on your offer? So if your offer is to help them buy a home and you're the buying agent, or whether your offer is to help them sell the home, it's really, really important to ask yourself, just so that you know what happens when they say yes. That way you don't have that, oh shit moment.
Is that a real question?
Yes, it's a real question. In other words, what's the onboarding process like? It forces you to think about, how do I onboard them as a client?
Sorry.
You got a fly?
No, it's like someone's like banging against the wall and revving an engine. I'm like, what is going on out there? Except right there is the parking lot.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would go talk to a top team, someone either in a Facebook group, or a mentor of yours, or a broker that's a senior broker. Talk to them. Go talk to a TC. Go talk to somebody who has a checklist already built in, and be able to get that checklist and work that checklist. Also, if you're going to be a buyer, let's say it's your first listing, right? You're like, oh shit, now what the blank do I do? Well, this is actually kind of fun, guys, because this can be 2 things. Go post on Facebook. Hey guys, I'm looking to practice my listing presentation. We would like to have 5 people in the next blank days. Any takers? If you do, I'll buy you a $10 Starbucks card, a $20 Starbucks card, a gift, a gesture of gratitude back to them. And then you can go practice in front of real live people, and then ask them, what would you expect after you took me on as a listing agent? What would your next expectations be? Start getting an idea, because some of them might list with you. It has happened before.
Yeah, I believe it.
And so I would do live fire, but also go back to the people around you that are the top. Go to the top agents. No middle ground bullshit. Yeah. The best of the best, because they will be more willing to help you than anybody else will. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and Wesley Brooks has a comment following up on the whole team or having a mentor. Wesley says, joining a team as a first-year agent helped me immensely. There's no way I would have been able to close 10+ deals in my first year alone. Yeah, and that's fantastic. To close more than 10 deals in your first year is a pretty good accomplishment anyway. Doing it as a part of a team is still a great accomplishment. But yeah, I think for most agents, that's 100% true. If you want to actually close a deal a month, plugging into a team is probably the only way most people would do it, unless you're extremely driven and you're able to go out there and, let's say you find a podcast like this and you just find the right lead generation system for you right when you hit the ground running. But let's cover one last question, then we'll kind of put a bow on this one.
Sure. Hold on one second. I want to counter that. I want to counter your last comments. As always, we disagree on things.
I know we disagree on it, but everybody's heard that. We don't want to hear.
This is big boy time. Okay.
Where's the mute button?
Shut up. I'm driving this boat. When it comes to joining a team, guys, I would implore you to go get outside counsel and pay all of your money.
All right, I'll let you talk again.
Yes. Jerk off. What'd you do? Actually, mute me?
I did mute you.
You fuckface. God. In your first go around, guys, I would absolutely not try to join a team right off the bat. Give it 6 months to 12 months. If you really can't hack it as an agent and you really need that, those people around you to support you, then okay, join a team. But don't go cutting your throat right off the bat. There is free information everywhere around you. It is literally flying around your head at all times and on all different types of, it could be scripts, it could be a podcast, it could be a live Facebook stuff, it could be a manager, it could be a mentor, it could be anything, but they're not going to be taking the money from you. So first, try to do it on your own. I tell everybody that. And Wesley, I'm glad it worked well for you, but I'm just saying, if you have the opportunity to do it on your own, please try to do it. I'm not saying, I've always been on a team, so I can't knock it, but I'm just saying, why take away your own money? But if you still don't like it, go get on a team, live happily ever after,
Because what you net is more important than what you gross. That's why.
Yes. Right. So I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Marie Costello says, has anyone obtained a CNS designation? It's called the Certified Neighborhood Specialist. What are your thoughts? I'm a new agent, and it sounded like something good for really learning the ropes. So, Greg, first of all, what's your stance on designations? Do you put much stock in them? Do you think they're valuable?
They're bullshit. Nobody gives a shit of how many alphabet soup abbreviations you have behind your name. They really don't. They care if they're going to get along one-on-one with you. Yeah, you might feel all happy in pants if you got a lot of designations behind you. Look, guys, you don't need the designations are good, but they're only recognized by certain organizations, because if the National Association or other organizations are approve this designation, then it's approved. What the fuck does that mean? It's approved.
It means they need their pound of flesh, Greg. It means they need to be suitably bowed before and paid off before you can tell people it's certified.
It's stupid. I would go get your own get your own education, guys. Go read a book on a certain subject matter for a year, and you'll have the equivalence of a PhD in that subject matter. Why do you need 3 letters behind your name to say that you're a neighborhood specialist? Bullshit. Neighborhood specialist is someone who knows what's going on in the neighborhood. You don't need 3 letters behind your name to be a specialist. Yeah. Silliness.
Yeah, I agree with Paul Franklin. So alphabet soup after your name is worthless, but taking periodic training is invaluable. And I 100% agree with that. So here's where I think a certification comes into play. Number one, if you as a marketer understand at a very deep level who you're going after and what makes you different specifically for that ideal client, then getting a designation that bolsters your credibility for that specific thing to that specific type of client that you're going after, great. But the alphabet soup of stuff that nobody knows what it means, that does nothing for you.
Well, I can make up letters and put behind my name too.
Yeah, exactly. Put it on my car. But that's beside the point. But,
BS.
BS. Anyway.
I have a BS and BS.
The other part of that is that it's the training part. So Paul mentioned the training, right? If a certification forces you to set a day or two aside to get training that you would normally blow off and not apply in your business, then it can be incredibly valuable if it's presented by the right person and it's the right information for your business. And forcing yourself to go to that thing will force yourself to implement the ideas that you come away with, then that's a good thing.
Well, Matt, there's working in your business, then there's working on your business. Working in your business is a day-to-day grind. Showings, listings, prospecting. That's working your day-to-day grind. Working on your business, guys, that's constant education. Never, ever, 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 ever stop constantly educating yourself about your profession, about what's going on, about the market, about the statistics, about the forecast of what's going to be coming down the road. What about go listen to Social Media Examiner, getting the highest and newest tech tips on how you can implement it into your business. Read Entrepreneur Magazine, read Inc. Mag, read all these different things and see what other people are doing in their businesses and put it into your business, and go to at least 2 to 4 trade show events a year, local, national, like CAR, NAR, local events, to see what
San Diego Association of Realtors,
which we will be speaking at on April 27th.
That's right.
We haven't made that announcement yet, guys. Yeah, Matt and I have been hired by San Diego Association. Matt and I are going to be speaking down there on April 27th. We don't know the time, but it will be about an hour-long talk. So
Right.
if you guys are down there or nearby, you guys want to come by and hang out.
More importantly, I was going to say, if you're nearby, definitely come check us out. But more importantly, if you're around the country, but you know of an agent in SoCal and especially San Diego, tag them, turn them on to the show. That way they can start getting our lovely content now in preparation for our speaking event there in April, because we'd love to have as many people come out and see us live as humanly possible. We want to press the flesh, meet you in person.
Yeah, we can barrage their earbuds with our voices until they meet us on April 27th. And we're also going to be getting together with Rod Watson, Toby Salgado from Super Agents Live. I talked to him the other day. We're all going to get together and do a beer and donut tasting at the Donut Bar. So TBD or TBA or whatever, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is.
To be announced and determined. TBAD, to be announced and determined.
We just don't know when it's going to happen, basically. There's our alphabet soup, Matt. Nobody cares.
That's right. All right. So, Manny, yes, we will see you there. You said you were a state director, which is awesome. So we're, looking forward to meeting you in person. If anybody else,
Manny, if there's anyone else or any other opportunities that you think that we would be good at to speak at, Matt, I might come down like the 26th and be there the 26th and 27th, which means I'm going to sleep on Matt's couch, which I know is going to drive him nuts. Matt's like, inviting yourself much?
I wasn't aware of that, but okay.
But if there's more organizations or brokerages or whatever, let's make it happen. Let's make this an event, people.
We want to get out there and speak. We want to get out there and meet you guys in person this year.
Yes. That's
our mission for this year. More live in-person meetups and speaking engagements. So
we're gonna give Matt his
hook us up with a broker, hook us up with a team leader, whatever the case is. So whoever has the authority to say yes to bringing somebody into the office, that's who we want to talk to. Just introduce us. Facebook, email, whatever.
We're going to give Matt his vaccinations, and we're going to give him Xanax, so he'll be good in public, and we'll be good to go.
Greg McDaniel, DICK, BS. That's your designations.
As long as all caps, I'm good.
That's right. Chris says, come to Mississippi. Chris, how about you come to Florida?
Yes. Florida, San Diego.
Yeah. Well, we got to go to Florida anyway. So how about he just comes over a couple of states? All right, guys. Let's put a nice little bow on this one. So 2 things. Number 1, Greg's favorite scripts. Go to myfavoritescripts.com. You can check that out. Guys, seriously, if you don't have this yet, this is all of Greg's phenomenal scripts. We're always adding to it. But go there, download it. It's the actual written script, and it's the video links to where Greg actually goes through and role plays the scripts with me so that you can hear the phrasing and the tonality. And then go to McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. Check out the high-tech, high-touch real estate farming product. That is 8.5 some hours of me just loading Greg's brain into a bench vise, squeezing all the goodness out into those 8.5 hours of content. It's all about farming. It's all about choosing the right area, demographic and geographic, and then hitting them with cold, warm, and hot outbound prospecting. He talks about the pain levels of prospecting and how to make warm and hot touches so that they're not so painful, as well as how to run events, how to use Zillow, all kinds of stuff. There's a couple of bonus videos on that stuff in there. So go check that out. That is $99. We kind of keep that super low price for you guys so that you guys can get a ton of value out of that. Greg, who do you want to shout out?
Well, Matt, I think you're forgetting about something that we're launching soon.
Yes.
Did you forget? You want to talk about it? Because it's kind of awesome.
No, you talk about it.
Okay, I'll be narcissistic. Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome to, yes, completely different from the rest of the show. Welcome to the narcissistic portion of it.
So guys, Matt and I, we are launching a real estate prospecting, rockstars, prospecting. What the fuck are we calling it?
It's the first in our Rockstar prospecting series.
Yeah, see,
it's all about circle prospecting. That's the first course we're coming out with. Good. This is the engine of your business, Greg. This is what you do to bring in have done. Yeah. So this is the engine. So guys, we're going to go through a 4-week live training course where Greg is I'm literally going to split Greg's head open and live on video with you guys on a Zoom call. You're actually going to be able to participate, role play, interact, and we're literally going to train you to do exactly what Greg does to bring in leads, the exact same way that Greg does it.
Yeah, I actually I was talking about this with Toby, Matt, on Saturday whenever I was talking with him, and he's like, Greg, I forgot he called me this. He cracks me up. And you did the same thing. He's like, Greg, you got to remember that you're dense. And I'm like, First off, fuck you. First off, and I'm like, he's like, no, dense. Like you're too concentrated.
Oh, content
like
dense. Yes,
yeah, content dense.
Yeah,
and
we
I'm
literally
like,
had to take Rockstar Prospecting, our original idea for the course, and split it up into 3 because it was too much.
We totally did, and I'm like, Matt and I've argued about this several times. I'm like, no, Matt, I want to put more information in there. He's like, dude, no, it's too much.
It needs to be more training, more role play, more interaction.
Yes, dilute it down so you guys can actually, disseminate it into your bodies and then put it out there so it doesn't, go just right over your top of your heads, because I get way into it too much. So my apologies. But we're coming out. We'll put the links in here, guys, for you soon. It's going to be $297 for a full month. Affordable, effective. You're going to get recordings of this shit. Yes, it's going to be cool. And then let's see here. I'm trying to get over to my calendar since my entire calendar, my computer systems, this.
Well, that's fine. Let me talk about the next show. So on Wednesday, positive persuasion.
Matt, my turn. Sylvia, I get to talk to her tonight. And then I give a shout out to my boy, Phil over at Talon, and then a couple of folks that are just awesome that I've been talking with on chats. So Ethan, Paul, Tim, Marie, Ted, Sharon, Deb, Jamie, Philip, well, not you, Dawn, and Elizabeth. Oh, and Sally. She was super cool, man. I really enjoyed talking to her. So keep it coming, guys. Matt, now you can talk.
All right. Well, first of all, Lynn commented, I can't be like Greg with what appears to be a cat emoticon. So let me just say that there is, and we talk about this in the scripts PDF, so go download that. That's the free one. But Greg, you talk a lot about like stuttering and stammering. So you'd be surprised. Greg is not like super smooth. He's not Mr. Smooth on these circle prospecting calls.
No.
So just because you don't have Greg's outgoing, like quirky, funny, super energetic personality the way he is on the show, that is not the way you are on circle prospecting calls. It's very, very different, and it's very, very possible for people to imitate exactly what you do on a circle prospecting call. You don't have to have your personality. I could literally pick up the phone and just imitate what you do.
Yeah. No, guys. This is the persona. Right, this is a show persona, and when whoever gets to talk to me, you'll know that I'm a little bit different when I'm not on camera, because this is what we're doing is we're having fun, we're entertaining, but we're also educating. When I'm out there hustling and grinding, dude, it's straight business. Like, I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to work the situation and to get that lead. So, I mean, trust me, I can teach anybody how to do this, and it doesn't have to be like me. You can take some ideas and then put it out the way you want to put it out. That's going to be effective, and for you. That's what we teach. We don't just teach how to be Greg. Nobody wants to be Greg. Okay, that's right. Especially me.
God help us all. All right, so coming up Wednesday. So in 2 days, we got Dr. Deborah Dupree. So she is she is a powerhouse. She is I believe, psychologist, therapist. She's been teaching and speaking for a while. What she talks about and what she's going to share on the show is positive persuasion, emotional intelligence, and how to really understand yourself and other people through the DISC profile so that you can sell better by presenting better and persuading better to get the results that you want out of your sales interactions. It's going to be insane. So that's in 2 days, Wednesday at 3 p.m. So that is Dr. Deborah Dupree, positive persuasion and overcoming fear. Yeah, so that's the other element that we're going to talk about. So if you guys are afraid of prospecting, talking to your database, picking up the phone and calling a lead, whatever the case is, we're going to talk about the root source of that fear and how to overcome that. So that's coming up on the show on Wednesday.
That's going to be awesome. Also, Matt, I talked to a guy named Brian Fanzo. He has several different podcasts. He used to work for the DOD and a bunch of other stuff, talking about cybersecurity and all kinds of stuff. We have him booked. We're going to get him booked. I sent the information over to Caitlin, our producer. And when we get this guy booked, guys, this guy's going to blow your minds on what you're going to be able to do with social media, especially live video. So keep your ears open for that. That's not going to be for a little while, but epically cool stuff. We're looking forward to it. And then, Matt, we have some other good stuff. I'm speaking at a summit, a virtual summit, guys, and we have the founder of that summit coming on here to talk about that stuff as well. Anyways, cool. Enough about us, Matt. I think that was a lot. That was a lot. That was more than usual, narcissist.
Yeah, that was more than usual.
Attitude. But Melissa says that she loves us. Vitamin G, Melissa, knuckles to you, girlfriend. And Matt and I will be back here Wednesday, like he said. But if you guys have any questions or thoughts, theories, or concerns, Facebook message me. Also follow me on Facebook, guys. Please don't friend me. Facebook only gave me 5,000 friends, and I'm at 5,000 friends with 700. That's just dicks, dude.
Yeah.
And they're just hampering my social life.
Hampering your game.
God, indecency. But follow me, follow Matt, pursuing results across all boards. You can actually friend him. But until Wednesday, guys, we love you. We do this for you. We want to see you succeed at the highest possible levels. And obviously, you know, Matt and I fuck with each other religiously, but we do it because real estate is about as exciting as wet cardboard on a rainy day. So we're going to take that out and make it more interesting.
Whatever. I'm going to leave it in.
All right, guys. I love you. We'll see you Wednesday. Bye.
Later, guys.